I'm Ben Rufana. Today I'm with Christina, and Christina wanted to share a few things to describe what she's experienced as a result of the work that we've done together. So I'll let her start out here. You came to class, how long was it? 2 months ago?
Yes,
Yeah.
2 months ago.
Yeah, and what was happening what brought you to class?
Well, for a long time I hadn't been feeling truly whole, and my heart was hurting. And so I read about you on Meetup, and I decided to come and try out your class, which I did. And I was very, very impressed with what you had to say. And then I came for an individual session, and I actually felt better as the weeks went on. And then by the time I got my second healing from you, it was amazing. It was like I felt complete again. My heart did not hurt anymore. I really believe in the work you do and how you have healed me to feel whole again.
How would you describe that? Like when you first showed up, you were really struggling. You had just come out of a relationship, and there was a lot of just unfinished business, a lot of hurt. Could you go a little more into depth? Like what was happening?
What was happening inside of me?
Yeah, what you went through and how that affected you, and then go a little more into depth.
Okay, well, I was in a long-term relationship, and it ended not suddenly, but it was progressing further and further to a breakup for about a year and a half. I was contemplating, should I stay, should I go? And then my final decision was to just let it go and move on. And I didn't realize how sad I would be after the fact that it was completely over. And it just devastated me to the point where it just went on and on and on for months. And I just knew myself well enough, and I didn't want to live that way anymore. And so I started looking into other ways to heal. And when I came across the Meetup, I thought, okay, I believe in healing from someone who has learned from an Indian. I never tried it, an American Indian, and I thought, let me just try it and see if it works. So when I came in, I still was so hurt deeply inside. It was, I couldn't be who I was. I wasn't happy. I wasn't feeling joy anymore, no matter what I did. And so when I came to the class, I spoke to a few people, and Ben started his class, and I listened to what he had to say. And then he said he did individual healing. And after his class, I was so impressed with him that I think it was either that day, the next day, or the day after that I came in to see him to get healed. And he could tell where I was stuck, even other areas of my body where there was a lot of buildup from past life experiences. And so he did his work, his magic on me. And when I left there, as the days progressed, I started feeling really good. And so I had another scheduled appointment with him, and I came a few weeks later, and he healed me some more with his magical ways and his incredible intuition. And ever since then, I've been feeling wonderful. I've been back to myself. I have joy again. Unfortunately, I lost my father a little over a month ago, and I'm devastated about that. And I came to Ben yesterday for healing, and I already feel that I'm comforted, and I don't feel the devastation as much as I did. He's helping me through this, and I just feel lighter. And better.
Yeah. So, initially, for those of you who are not familiar with my work, is at the age of 17, I had taken off on my own, and I ended up living among some of the Native American tribes in Oklahoma and then later New Mexico. And I started going into some of the ceremonies with the Native Kiowa elders, and I approached one of the last surviving traditional doctors. I knew from the age of 14 that I wanted to learn from one of these traditional doctors, and I asked him if he would teach me. And so I began my apprenticeship at the age of 20, and my mentor would pass on portions of the healing gifts that he possessed to me. And then from there, a big part of the training involves we go out alone into the mountains to fast for 4 days and nights without food and water. And during that time, part of it is you earn the right to work with this healing gift that is transmitted to you when you apprentice from a native doctor. But in addition, as I've kept going over the years, I would receive additional gifts of healing that have enabled me to facilitate the healing of those that I work with, such as Christina, and people with a wide range of digestive, respiratory disorders, people injured in automobile accidents, anxiety, depression, and so on. And there was a point when I was training with my mentor, Horace, who could be very quiet at times, very reserved. But at one point he said to me, you're going to get way up there and you're going to be very good at some point. But in the meantime, you're going to really scrape bottom. Because if you don't, you will never understand the suffering of the people that you work with. And it wasn't too long afterwards that the traumas of my own childhood and adolescence began to surface. And it was going through the vision quest that where I would feel this very powerful presence come into my body, and parts of that experience could be like near death, and that I would all the memories and emotions associated with these experiences would be coming back, and I'd be reliving what I'd gone through. And many of these events I'd completely forgotten about, and yet the memories, the emotions would come up, and I'd be like digesting it, like the food that I eat. And in doing so, I came out the other side much lighter. And so as I go through my own healing process, and then in addition continue to receive these other kinds of gifts of healing, that enables me to work as a conduit to allow this healing presence to work through me to assist Christina and many other people I work with. So it's something that, for Native Americans and people of other indigenous cultures, this was the primary form of healing or medicine that they practiced for many centuries. So it's very much my desire to, the reason I do this work is because I very much care about people and want to see everyone, as much as possible, get to a better place in their life. So it's definitely something for you to reach out and explore as well.